So, leadership structure of the team is somewhat simple. We have a leadership council, and I guess you could go to the website for all this information. But we have the leadership council that meets right now bi-weekly, Monday night, 7:30 to 9. And what we do is we make sure that the team stays running. There are students and mentors on the leadership council, and there are leadership positions that are put out. But having a leadership position gives you responsibilities, not power. The big point of the leadership council is that everyone can contribute. It's an open leadership council, so anybody can come. But for example, I'm president. That doesn't mean my vote weighs more than someone else's. That just means I get to do everything that deals with the school. So being on the leadership council doesn't require technical experience, doesn't require knowledge of the team. It's just someone you're motivated to help us run the team. A lot of it is show up to the meetings and just volunteer to help us out with things. We plan events, we make sure that the robot's going to compete, we plan travel, we do volunteer things, but a lot of like Robot Camp, for example, is an event that the Leadership Council planned. And even if you just come to the Leadership Council, part of Leadership Council is finding the right person to lead things. So again, with the Robot Camp example, we decided that we'd have a sub-team to do the organization of new members area. And so they did quite a bit of the planning for Robot Camp, but in the end, the decision of what to do goes to the Leadership Council. And if you're interested in taking one of the student positions, there are generally 4 main positions, which is president, secretary, treasurer, and captain. The president has the job of doing everything that has to do with the school that allows us to be a club at the school. And the school liaison is as we put it, because he signs all the forms, make sure the school knows what we're doing, so on and so forth. And the secretary, which is James this year, gets to take notes on everything and make sure that the meeting times are adhered to, and he takes great stock in adhering to those times. And the treasurer is in charge of the budget, finances, obviously. Make sure that we actually have money to spend 2 robots and go to regionals, which are $4,000 or $5,000 each. And it's important for the treasurer to make sure that we're not overspending and dipping past the money that we actually have. And the last person, which is the captain, which this year is Brian, he makes sure that the robot works. Everything that happens to the robot, getting it to competition, making sure it's ready for competition, the parts, the ordering, that goes to the captain. And the captain is there to make sure that we actually have a robot that can compete when it comes competition day. And then there are also a lot of mentors who are on the Leadership Council. Michael Murray, Finbar, or Wynn, a few people who are on it. They help out a lot because a lot of them have experience in a company in leadership, managing systems. So they're there to help students understand the process of leadership and managing. And they help out with projects and lead them themselves too. And then a bit down here is just general things that the Leadership Council does. Set goals. Make sure that the structure of the team allows people and the team to be successful. Because if positions aren't filled, then we can either choose to fill them or find a way to get around the lacking. Planning, again, with the Robot Camp, it was all planned by the Leadership Council and the sub-team. And then team organization. That goes into making sure that everybody has the resources to complete the tasks that they're given. That's the general overview. If you're interested in the Leadership Council, we do meet bi-weekly on Mondays. I believe the Monday after next is our next leadership meeting. And anyone is free to come. You don't have to volunteer for things when you come. You can just come to check it out, see what we do. it's a good way to figure out how the team is led and how we continue to do what we do. 7:30 to 9, James usually likes to make sure it ends at 9. Other than that, we invite you to come. It's always great when new members are coming, and since a lot of the people who are in leadership are seniors, there's positions that are available for anybody who's looking to take more responsibility in the team.
A question. Is there a way students can find out what's happened at a leadership meeting?
Yes, in the Google Drive, which if you don't have access to, you can talk to us and we'll give you access. But in the Google Drive, there is a set of files in the leadership called meetings/minutes. And you have access to all the minutes, which is just the notes that James takes from the meetings. And they say who's doing, all the green highlighted are action items of this is going to happen, this person is leading it. And we take notes on other things like the debrief, which was a while ago, that was the end of last year. But if you didn't go, there's always a way to figure out what happened at the meetings.
So run through that structure a second. Go ahead, Finbar.
This might be a good time just to mention about the way we do most of our communication. So there's the e-list, which you sign up through the school, and that's more of a general email list for anybody who's interested in Mountain View robotics, and parents, mentors. There's a lot of people on that list.
Including Los Altos High School robotics team members.
Right, there are a lot of people on that list. Especially during the build season and for some other events, we have a more targeted email list, which is Spartan Robotics. You need to make sure you're on that list. This is not signed up through the e-list. It's a separate list that
I'll speak on that in a minute.
Talk to Mrs. Shu about being put on it. Once you're on that list, you have access to all of these Google Docs. You can see basically almost any of them. So it's very important that you're on that list. Because if you're not, you're going to be missing out on a lot of key information. The other thing to remember is that we do a lot of announcements through email. We really need people to be signed up, and we really need people to be checking their email at least once a day. Because sometimes meeting notices go out sort of last minute. But especially during the build season, things are moving very, very fast, and if you're not checking your email on Spartan Robotics, you're basically going to be missing out on a lot of things.
And there's a third email list, which is the leadership list.
If I wanted to get the leadership council to discuss something at their meeting, what would I do?
You can either send an email to James, who makes the agendas, or you can show up and bring it up yourself.
Perfect. We can put stuff on the agenda ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yes, preferably it will be on the agenda when we get to the meeting. But if you need something added last minute, you can come to the meeting and tell us to add it.
Okay.